Hey guys, Brian Grossman here with Hunt the South. The deadline to apply for Georgia's quota turkey hunts is quickly approaching. We're just 3, maybe 2 weeks out at this point. So you're going to have to be making a decision pretty quick if that's something you're interested in. So I wanted to shoot a quick video, or well, it may not be too quick, but I wanted to shoot a video that kind of looks at some of the data, the drawing odds and the success rates of some of these WMAs to help you make an informed decision. So I'll break it down by, which hunts you can draw depending on how many preference points you have. And even if you're like me and you've slacked off and you don't have any preference points built up for the turkey quota hunts or the quota turkey hunts, there's still some hunts that you can likely get drawn for. So we'll look at those as well as the ones you can draw with, 1, 2, 3, and even 4+ preference points. And then again, we're going to look at success rates on some of these WMAs, or at least the top WMAs. So again, you can make an informed decision on which quota hunt you apply for if that's something you want to do. So stick with me. I'm going to jump down here at my computer, pull up some slides that we can look at, and we're going to run through some of this data. And hopefully that'll help you guys out. So let's get started. Georgia turkey hunters are blessed to have 62 quota hunts available for them on 33 tracts of various WMAs and VPAs, which are voluntary public access lands, scattered across the state. So there's a lot of turkey quota hunts or quota turkey hunts available to you guys out there. The problem is there are a lot of people vying for those spots. There's actually just shy of 2,000 openings across those 62 quota hunts. And there's, based on last year's figures, about 27,000 applicants or people applied for those quota hunts. Now, about 7,000 of those were points only applications. So they weren't even applying for a specific hunt. They were just building up their preference points. So you actually have about 20,000 people putting in for those slightly less than 2,000 openings. So about a 10% overall, 10% odds of getting drawn for one of these hunts. But obviously that's going to vary from hunt to hunt. Some of these are in much higher demand than others. And we're going to look at which hunts are in high demand and which ones you can potentially draw with no points at all. Now, for those of you worried about non-residents scooping in and taking all these spots in the quota hunts, out of those 27,000 applications, about 2,400 of them are non-residents. So less than 10% of the applications are non-resident. So that's obviously not a major issue. So let's look at quota turkey hunts that can potentially be drawn with 0 points. Now, a couple of disclaimers here. I'm basing this on last year's drawing data. So obviously that can change from year to year. If a bunch of you watch this video and suddenly decide you want to apply for this one hunt on the list, then you're probably not going to draw it with 0 points. If the demand is higher, then it can certainly change things. But based on last year's data, these hunts could be drawn, pretty much guaranteed drawn, even with 0 points. As long as you put them down as your first option. That's kind of the key here. Everything I'll be talking about on here is based on the assumption that you're applying for these hunts as your first choice. So let's run down the list here quick. The second Big Laser Creek hunt, you could draw with 0 points. The second Blanton Creek hunt. The third Ceylon hunt. The second Charles B. Henson hunt. The second Chattahoochee Fall Line Almo hunt. The second Chattahoochee Fall Line Fort Perry hunt, and the second Chattahoochee Fall Line Hilliard Tract hunt. You could all draw those with 0 points. The second and third Chickasaw Hatchie hunts, the second Die Lane hunt, the third Gaither, I guess is how you pronounce that hunt, the third Griffin Ridge, the second Ocmulgee hunt, the second Ahoopee Dunes North Tract hunt, the second River Bend hunt, the second Silver Lake hunt, and the second Treat Mountain hunt. All those, based on last year's data, you could draw with no points. Of course, I'm sure what quickly comes to mind as I read through that list is none of these are the first hunt for any of these tracts of public land. You're going to, with no points, you're going to have a hard time getting in
on a hunt that first week of turkey season. It's just, it's probably not going to happen for you. You'll just have to build those points and draw a better hunt in the future. Of course, if you keep putting in for these hunts that take 0 points and you do get drawn, you're never going to be able to build up those preference points to get a better hunt. So just something to keep in mind as you're applying for these. Now we'll move on to the quota hunts that you can draw if you have 1 preference point available. And still not too many first hunts in here, but there are a couple. You have the second Alepha River hunt, the Bullard Creek hunt, which that's the only hunt for that WMA, the second Ceylon hunt, the second Chattahoochee Fall Line, or no, the first Chattahoochee Fall Line Alamo hunt, the second Clybell hunt, the third Dukes Creek hunt, the second Gaither hunt, the second Griffin Ridge hunt, the second Joe Kerr's hunt, the first Ocmulgee hunt, the second Oconee hunt, the second Paulding Forest hunt, the second Rum Creek hunt, and the second Sheffield hunt. So there you go. A couple of first hunts in there, Alamo, Bullard Creek, and Ocmulgee that you could potentially draw with 1 preference point. Now, another disclaimer here. Some of these hunts you could potentially draw with 0 points, but your odds are going to be much less than 100%. So for these, and I'm saying you could draw with 1 point, that's almost guaranteed with 1 point. You could potentially, again, with 1 point, you could potentially, or 0 points, you could potentially draw one of these, but your odds might be, 50% or 20% or 5%. It's not going to be 100%. So just something else to keep in mind. And then if you have 2 points, you got more options, and most of these are those first week hunts. You had the BF Grant hunt, the first Big Laser Creek hunt, the first Charles B. Henson hunt, the first Chattahoochee Fall Line Hilliard Track hunt, the second Dukes Creek hunt. You got the one Okie Woods hunt, the first Silver Lake hunt, the Standing Boy Creek hunt, which is, I guess, maybe the only archery only turkey quota hunt that I'm aware of, and then the West Point hunt, which again, that's just a single hunt for that WMA. So these are the hunts that can be drawn with 2 points. If you got 3 points, you're getting more options here for these early hunts. The first Blanton Creek hunt, the first Ceylon hunt, the first Chattahoochee Fall Line Fort Perry hunt, the first Chickasaw Hatchie hunt, the Crockford Pigeon Mountain hunt, the first Griffin Ridge hunt, the first Ohoopee Dunes North Track hunt, the first Sheffield hunt, first Treat Mountain hunt, and the Wilson Shoals hunt. So with 3 points, you're going to be getting into probably some pretty good turkey hunts here. And then if you're fortunate enough to have 4 or more hunts or points, then this is kind of the cream of the crop as far as the high demand quota turkey hunts. You can get that first Alepha River hunt with about 4 points. The first Clybell hunt took 5 points last year to guarantee it. The first Die Lane hunt, 4 points. First Dukes Creek hunt. The first Gaither hunt took 5 points last year to guarantee a draw. The first Joe Kerr's hunt. The McGraw Ford hunt. The first Oconee hunt. The first Paulding Forest hunt. The first Riverbend hunt, and the first Rum Creek hunt. All those you can draw with 4 to 5 points. And then there were no WMAs or VPAs that I'm aware of that took more than 5 points to draw. So if you got more than 5 points, you can kind of hold on to some of those and start building for the next year, And then as far as, okay, that's your demand. That's kind of gives you an idea of how many points it's going to take to draw certain hunts, or if you don't have any points, that'll give you an idea of which of these hunts you can draw. But then let's take a quick look at the WMAs or VPAs with the highest hunter success, again, based on last year's data. Now, disclaimer on this, the DNR did not have this hunter success information broke down by individual hunts. All they could tell me was the overall success rate for the WMA based on all the turkey hunts there last year. So I can't give you individual hunt data, unfortunately. If I could, you're going to see that those first hunts are obviously typically have the highest based on when I work for the DNR and the particular WMAs that I have in my head, the first hunt, that success rate was always way, way higher. And then the second hunt, it would drop off significantly. And then at the time, that WMA that I worked on had a third hunt, and it was almost, no success by that third hunt, once it had all that pressure. So just something to keep in mind. But based on last year, River Creek had the highest success rate, River Creek WMA, of these WMAs with quota hunts. It had 23% success. Chattahoochee Fall Line, Hilliard Track had 20% success rate. I mean, that's pretty impressive for turkey hunts, especially on public land. Die Lane had a 15% success rate. Joe Kerr's had a 12%. Clybell slightly below at 11%. Crockford Pigeon Mountain also had an 11% success rate. Charles B. Henson VPA had a 10% success rate. Treat Mountain VPA had a 10% success rate. Bullard Creek had a 9%, and Paulding Forest had a 9% success rate. So those are kind of the top 10 of all the WMAs and VPAs as far as success rate goes. And guys, all this information is available online. The exact preference point demands for each of these WMAs, the success rate. Actually, the success rate stuff is not online yet. I'm going to put it on the Hunt the South website. And once that's on there, I'll include a link below. I will go ahead and put a link to the preference point stuff so you can see exactly how many points you might need to get in on some of these hunts.
But hopefully, guys, that's enough information to help you make an informed decision on which Georgia quota turkey hunt you want to apply for this spring. Again, we just have a couple weeks left to do that, so you better go ahead and get that done. Or at least if you don't want to, if there's not a certain hunt you want this year, be sure to at least put in for those preference points so you can start building those for the better hunts, in subsequent years on down the road here. But guys, if you already haven't, please do me a big favor. Take just a second, hit that subscribe button, the little notification bell, so you'll always know whenever we post a new video. And until next time, guys, hey, hunt safe, shoot straight, and most importantly, just enjoy your time out there in God's great outdoors. We'll see you on the next video.